So up until now, this has basically been review, right? So far we've done a lot of offhand stuff. We've done offhand with no dagger, and then there was a disarm, or several disarms that we had from that. We had high cuts with cross grip. We've had low cuts with a cross grip. We've also had just using the offhand to frame and then going into disarms from there. So now we've got our dagger and we've got our right foot forward. And so now, because our right foot's forward, it's safe to use our dagger hand and it's unsafe to use our offhand, right? So if my training partner from this position cuts in and I go to here, I'm already left in a very weak position, right? This is a much more difficult position for me to get a strong angle than this, right? And so if I'm in cross guard here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend my dagger in the way of that, right? I can do that depending on the nature of the cut. I can do that either way, 1 or 2, right? And then from there, I've got lots of follow-up options. The other alternative is if I have my dagger high, right? I can cut down onto my training partner's dagger, right? And from there, I have all the same sets of options that I would normally have. And if my dagger's low, I can do a number of actions there. So if I'm using my dagger hand, the defense that I'm using is primarily happens with this part of the arm. Same as when I'm using my offhand. If I'm using my offhand, he cuts in, I'm using this. I'm catching him just below my wrist, right? I don't want to catch him with my hand necessarily because that's my wrist is in the way. And that's a structurally weak point in my defense, right? I don't want to put all of my defense in my wrist. If he changes the angle, now all of a sudden I'm losing structure and strength. And he's either able to just blow right through my structure, or at a minimum, it makes it harder for me to feel when I'm engaging all of my musculature to keep my wrist strong. Does that make sense? So when I'm defending, I'm defending with this. But the difference here is I don't have my dagger to manipulate his arm. With my dagger hand, if I defend just with my dagger, I can just keep that strong. Normally, I would want to go edge, right? I'm being nice to Eric right now, so I'm using the flat just so that he doesn't, cut into the edge of my dagger. Even though it's leather, it would suck, right? So I catch here, boom, with the flat, and then from here, I can just maintain a good strong strength. If he cuts then super hard, he's pushing as hard as he can, right? It's very easy for me to maintain this control here, right? But if I'm in this high guard and I cut down, I'm using my dagger to manipulate, but I'm catching him in the same place that I was before on my wrist, this part of my wrist right here. So I'm in a high guard, he cuts down, boom, right? And then I can go into all of the same basic movement patterns. If I'm in a low guard, same here, right? So I'm here. And then notice how when I'm cutting down, I'm moving through the whole range of motion, and that's to defend against him weakening, right? So if I just cut down like this, boom, and I just stop there, look, right? It's very easy for him to pull away from that. But if I put his whole arm through the entire range of motion, then as he weakens, I bring my left arm into play, my left hand into play. I'm on the tricep if he tries to cut. It's very hard for him to cut through this. And then I get this, and I back out, right? Same on this side. I don't just cut up and stop there, look, right? So I'm cutting up, boom, and then I pull. And then this goes in my pocket, and look at how far he has to step. And then from here, what was the action that I'm going to use to hit him here? What's my hitter? Pommel to the chin, okay? So let's practice the 3 of those. Well, the 2 of those. From high guard, I cut down, boom. My training partner is going to be a good training partner, and he's going to yield as soon as he feels a cut. I'm going to follow to make sure that I get my frame in place. Same on this side. Okay, boom. All right, and then after that's done, we'll go to the various options from using the dagger hand from the crossguard. All right, 3, 2, 1. Thanks for watching Historical Fencing Channel content. If you'd like to learn more, check out our Patreon link in the description for detailed, one-on-one, tailored instruction. And don't forget to like and subscribe.